Hello everyone, my name is Kim and you're at Kim's Cozy Corner. It's March and it's time for us to get really serious about seed starting. So I am going to do two videos about what I'm starting in March. And this first video is focusing on lettuce and flowers. My last frost date is roughly around the end of April. Now, with that last frost date being around the end of April, there are certain things I can plant out before the last frost date, like your cool season crops, your broccolis, your cauliflowers, kohlrabi, cabbage, um, what else? Some greens, different types of greens, including lettuce, as well as what else? Radishes and beets and some of those type things, and Brussels sprouts. Those are all cool season crops. And I can plant them before my last frost date. In my seed starting journal that I use here, which there will be a link below if you're interested in it. This is volume 2 and this is volume 1. Volume 1 has some really great information in it, but volume 2, I added a few more things to it. But in here, there is a vegetable reference table in here that lets me know which crops are cool season crops and which ones are warm season crops. If you have a cool season crop, now is about the time to get them outside, or be preparing to get them outside in the next few weeks. Today, we're going to work on the leafy greens that I was just talking about, and we're going to focus on lettuce. And for my flowers, even though these particular flowers are not cool season flowers like pansies, pansies can actually grow in the snow as long as it's not too cold. But my warmer flowers that I need to put out probably in early to mid-May, they need like 8 to 10 weeks before they're ready to go outside. So I'm going to go ahead and get those started today so they'll be ready to go outside in May. And those flowers, I want to share with you the different varieties that I'm going to be growing. But the first thing I need to do is write down the dates of everything I'm starting today. So there's a place in here where I can put when I plan to start certain things and when I actually start them. In my plan, I had already listed all of this out. So now I'm going to actually put when I'm actually starting them. So it says my petunias, I want it to, they need 8 to 10 weeks. And I needed to start them, I planned, I should say, to start them on 3/1. Today is 3/8. So we're only about a week later than I thought. We're going to do coleus today as well. So petunias and coleus today. And we're going to do some more lettuce today. I like to do succession planting with my lettuce. And so I need to, once I'm outside, plant them every couple of weeks or so. And so I like to start about 6 or so lettuce every other week or so I can keep that variety going. So we're going to start some lettuce today as well. And let's start with the lettuce first because I planted lettuce back on 2/22. So 2 weeks ago, I started some lettuce. And here's the lettuce that I started 2 weeks ago. I started some winter density. Here's a picture of it, by the way. I also started some slow bolt, another picture, and some Lantus winter. And I started them in some very tiny cells. Oh, and Merlot. I started some Merlot. So there's the fourth one. And I started them in tiny cells because the plan will be to transplant them out into my GreenStalks. And I don't want to have to up pot. I don't want to have to separate or anything like that. So I was very careful to only put no more than 3-ish or so plants in each one. There were 2 others that I planted, but they didn't germinate. So I replaced those 2 with 2 different lettuces, which I'll share with you today. So there's the first 6 from 2 weeks ago. And then today, we're going to start another 6 different lettuce plants. So let me tell you what lettuce plants we're going to start today. We are going to start Butter Crunch. And Butter Crunch is a 55 to 65 day maturity. It's a heading lettuce. Another heading lettuce I'm going to do is the May Queen, and it is a style of butter crunch as well. It's got a little pink hue there in the center of it. This one says harvest early for baby greens if you don't want to wait for it to head up. I'm also going to do a leaf lettuce. I'm going to do Grand Rapids. It's 45 days to harvest. So you notice the lettuce has a variety of timing of when it's going to come in, which will keep that harvest coming. I'm also going to do crisp mint. I'm already growing crisp mint indoors right now in my indoor grow space, but this is my favorite romaine lettuce. It gets really nice size, and you can pick them individual leaves to do different types of things with it, wraps and other things of that nature. Have you a nice salad, but it's super sweet. And then I'm going to get into some lettuce that's got a little color to it. So I'm going to try to grow prize head leaf lettuce. These seeds are getting a little old, so I'm not expecting the germination to be great. And it's only 45 days to harvest or maturity. Here's the other one. It's got some more of those red and rust color hues on it. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but we're going to grow this one as well. We're going to do outrageous so we can get those ready for the garden as well. And Lunix to get it ready for outside. Now, some of these will go in the GreenStalk as we're getting closer and closer for that outdoor garden. Some of these will go right into my raised beds as well. So those are the different lettuce plants that we're going to start right now. I've already added in the outrageous and the Maryville into this one because I had two that didn't germinate. So this one's ready to go. And the rest of these, I am going to get these planted today. And when it comes to planting your lettuce, look at your seed pack. Your seed pack will tell you the depth that you need to plant your seeds. Usually it's about 1/4 of an inch deep. As I'm reading through these, they're all saying 1/4 of an inch deep, or they don't say anything at all. No, they're all 1/4 of an inch deep. All of them are. And your lettuce plants are definitely cool season crops. So you want to get those planted before it becomes 90 degrees in the shade because they are going to struggle. So I'm on my table here. I know I'm going to make a mess, but I will quickly show you how I plant my lettuce seeds. I won't show you every cell, but just kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing. Lettuce seeds are small. They're not as small as coleus, but they are small seeds. And I am only going to put, my goal is to only put 3 to 5 seeds in each one of these little pockets. And once I put the seed in the pocket, I'm going to push them down to about 1/4 of an inch deep. And I give them a nice little pat on their head, just like that. And now this one is ready to go. And they usually germinate in about what, a week? Yeah, about a week they'll germinate. And in about 3 weeks, they should honestly be strong enough to go outside. And I usually start putting lettuce outside the end of March for my grow zone, which is about 4 weeks before the last frost. I may be pushing the limits just a little bit, but your lettuce can take a light frost. They can't take a hard frost, but they can take a light frost. And I plan to put, like I said, a lot of these into my GreenStalk. Oh, too many, way too many. I wanted to put a few extra, but not 30 extra. I'm gonna put these into my GreenStalk. And if we get a heavy frost, if it's gonna get super cold and chilly, I have GreenStalk covers that I can put on. I have frost covers that I can put on top of them so that it can protect the plants to get through that one bad night that we might have along the way. I am going to push the limits just a little bit. I have to keep reminding myself 3 to 5 seeds. That's it. Well, I'm going to finish getting this lettuce put in so I can concentrate on 3 to 5 seeds. And then I'll bring you back and we're going to talk just a little bit about the different flowers and the way to plant those flowers versus going to your nurseries and the big box stores and paying all that money for a flat of flowers. Save so much money just growing them yourself. So the lettuce is in and we got it started, and we're going to go move it over to the grow space, and we're going to bring the lights just above these seedlings until they break ground. The next item we're going to focus on are going to be the coleus as well as the pansies. And there are many different types of coleus. I like to grow a mixture of coleus, and here's a rainbow mixture. And I've been using out of this pack now since 2021 from Botanical Interest. And it says on here that I need about 6 to 8 weeks before I can put them out. Coleus can grow in the shade. They don't need a ton of sun, and they have all of these beautiful, vibrant colors. Here's some pictures of some of my coleus from last year. And they grow so well, and they reseed themselves so well. I got a ton of volunteers over the last few seasons. I went ahead and grabbed some of the seeds off of my coleus last year, and I did a whole video on how to save your own seeds for your flowers. If you're interested, here's the thumbnail for that particular video. But I had red coleus, I had green coleus, I had some that were in between, and my coleus are absolutely beautiful. And I grow those in my front yard, around my front porch and the steps and everything, because that area stays heavily shaded. That's where all of the coleus will go. Now, the difference between my coleus and, for example, the lettuce, y'all, these seeds are tiny. I mean, they're some of the smallest seeds I have ever seen. And when you're starting your coleus, you don't cover them up. You leave them on the surface and you just kind of pat them in place, but you don't need 1/4 inch, 1/8 an inch, or anything like that of soil on top. It says, press seeds into soil surface. Do not cover with soil. And that's how they need to grow. I have a blend. I got a mixture. I tried to separate out my red ones from my green ones. I have a couple containers here. And since they're so small, I couldn't give them individual containers. I am going to have to separate and uppot the coleus. So in here, so this is a 4-cell little seed starting container. I have red coleus in here, and they were so small, I just lightly dropped in. I tried to drop in less than 10 seeds. I'm sure I dropped in more. And then I just lightly patted them down. I did the same thing with the mixture from these older seeds that I've been growing from, and the green ones that I harvested just from my own garden, so I can stop buying those coleus seeds. I'm trying to be more self-sufficient and not have to buy seeds. So I did the same thing, but this is a little 6-cell. But I have all of my coleus in 2 little containers, and there's probably 100 plants in there, y'all. We will let those germinate, and we will have to separate, most likely uppot those before we get them outside. Again, they need about 8 weeks. The other flower that I am going to plant, because it needs more time, are my pansies. And my pansies, not pansies, y'all, the pansies are already done. We've already uppotted pansies, actually. I did pansies a month ago. A month ago today, I started my pansies because they like frost. And so my goal is to have pansies in the ground in April. Now we're talking petunias. Petunias need about 10 weeks before they go in the ground, 8 to 10 weeks. They want the soil to be warm. All frost has to be gone. The frost will kill them off. Now we're going to start our petunias so they'll be ready for May. And I am growing several different kinds of petunias this year. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do petunias or not because I always do petunias. But y'all, they're just so beautiful, and they come in so many different colors, different bloom sizes. They got the ones that are real short, and then you got the ones that are like a wave that gets really long, and then you got the regular wave, you got the easy wave, you got the tidal wave. You got some that get a foot tall, some that gets less than a foot tall. There are just so many different varieties of petunia that we're going all in on petunias this year. So we will be doing a yellow petunia, and here's a picture of the yellow petunia. And by the way, I bought a variety of seeds. These are from Park Seeds. You're only getting 10 or 15 seeds per container. Price of those 10 to 15 seeds, I think, is a lot. By buying a variety pack from Park Seeds, I was able to get more seeds, more variety for a cheaper price. Flat of petunias can get very expensive as well at your local nurseries, the big box stores, places like that. So I still think I'm going to do better than I would have done if I was at one of those locations. And I'm hoping there's an extra seed or two in some of these containers. But anyway, I'm going to do a red tidal wave. And here's a picture of the red tidal wave. I feel like the red and the burgundy are so close together in color, but just in case, I'm going to do the easy wave burgundy as well as the red. And then, y'all, I am going to do a pink petunia. It's called an Easy Wave Pink Passion. And I'm showing all the pictures here, so hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing. I'm going to do a silver hybrid. And y'all, I opened one pack so you can see how they come. From Park Seeds, they come in these little bitty capsules. And it's only supposed to be 10 pelleted seeds. I hope there's more than 10 in there. It looks like there's 12 in this one, so a couple extra seeds. I'm not going to be mad. Also from Park, I'm doing a purple wave. I'm also doing a deep purple shock wave. And so there's the wave, there's the shock wave, there's the easy wave, there's the tidal wave, and then there's just the petunia. So a lot of different varieties of petunias. And then I'm also going to do this coral. And I just found these. All of these are from Amazon, y'all. And it was a coral petunia, which I don't see a lot of coral petunias in my area. And then I just got the traditional purple petunia that you can get anywhere. You see it all the time. And this pack is from the same company. It was a super decently priced, I should say decently, not super, decently priced seed. And there are 5,000 seeds in here. My concern is it not going to grow very well? Is it just so basic that nobody's looking for it anymore? 5,000 seeds in this one, where everything else is either 10 or 15 seeds. So we're going to do red. We're going to do purple. We're going to do silver. We're going to do yellow. We're going to do coral. We're going to do, what did I miss? Pink. Pink, purple, coral, silver, red, and burgundy. Now, as far as how do we plant petunias, let's see what it tells us to do here. Seeds are very tiny. Press gently onto soil surface without covering and keep the soil moist for best germination. Okay, it says it doesn't need light right now to germinate, but y'all, they're going to have to go under the light for me because that's just the way my grow space is set up. Pansies, they didn't need light as well, but the pansies grew for me without light. And I've always grown my petunias and my coleus with light, and they've done fine. So they're going to go with light. It says it doesn't need light to germinate, but after they germinate, then they need light. That's how we're going to do it. It says the seeds are super small, so I got to be careful with these seeds. I didn't show you, where's my purple? I didn't show you my coleus seeds, but I'm going to try to show you. Oh my God, they're so small. I'm going to try to show you my petunia seeds. Y'all, they're like salt grains. I mean, they're tiny, tiny salt grains. Oh my goodness. Now, these are not pelleted. Pelleted seeds usually don't last from year to year as long as unpelleted seeds. Whew, y'all, I almost blew them away. Can you even see them? It's dust. That's what we're dealing with, is dust. Yep, they fell somewhere in there. I'm growing a couple different kinds of purple though. Let me find the rest of those purple ones. So I am doing a pelleted wave purple and a shock wave purple. Your pelleted seeds make it much easier to transplant and have an idea of what you're actually putting in versus unpelleted seeds. So here's a pelleted seed. You might not even be able to see it because I dropped them. They're no longer in my hand. I lost all of them. Oh well. Oh, there they are. I found them. If they weren't pelleted, I wouldn't have found them. I messed that up. We won't drop any more. That's a loss of money. I can't be losing money like that, y'all. I am too frugal to be losing money. So we're going to be careful with these. I'm not going to put them in my shaky hands. I got to be really careful. I paid too much money to be losing seeds. Well, the good thing is that this isn't going to take as much space as I thought it was. So that's the good thing. Now watch, I'm overrun with petunias. It won't be the first time. That's how I like to do it. I get carried away. And then I start up potting and trying to find a home for everything, which is easier said than done, y'all. I have two more varieties of petunias that I grew last year. Now these have huge, huge petals. And I wasn't going to grow them this year, but I had an extra spot, y'all. So guess what? I'm going to put it in there anyway. If I have any seeds anyway. Oh my goodness. 2 seeds? Really? I'm going to try to put it in here anyway. We'll see what we get. And we'll just have such a big variety of all the different seeds we can kind of mix and match together and hopefully create a beautiful landscape. These are for landscaping purposes only. In my garden, I prefer zinnias and marigolds so they can do some work while they're there. What else do I have? Nasturtiums, so they can do some work as well. But that's what I put in the garden. And I get many different colors and shapes and things in the garden. And you know what? I got so many petunias. Petunias might have to go in the garden too. We'll see. We'll see if they go in the garden or not, because I got too many. I planted every petunia seed I had, except for this one where I had 5,000 seeds. I didn't plant all of those, but I planted everything else. So there are all of my flowers for this year, all of the petunias and the coleus. Some are seeds I just purchased, some I harvested myself. And that's all we're going to put in this video today. 8 weeks or so to germinate and get large enough to go in the garden, which will put me right into May. So that's the flowers. We've already put in the lettuce, and that's what this video is all about, lettuce and flowers. Let me move these over to the shelf. These are pansies that have been up potted. So they look like this right here. And then I separated those out to individual containers right there. And these are the plants that we just did. I've dropped my shop light down to just above them. I will water from the bottom, and we will hopefully get those to start germinating very, very soon. So this is the end of part 1 of the lettuce and flowers that I am starting in March. Part 2 will be other things that I'm starting in the month of March, and I hope you'll visit me when I'm doing that video as well. If you enjoyed this video on what to start in March, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. I will keep the videos coming just for you. Until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you hang out with me at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.